ancient city of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Here is me welcoming you to your program, News Analysis on Nigerian Television. I am Olayemi Babatunde. Today what we'll be doing is we'll be analyzing news on the front page newspapers today. So I have here with me, I'm not alone in the studio, I have here with me Mr. Sheye Ojo. Thank you very much, sir. It's good to have you today. I hope you enjoyed the weather, because it was showers of blessings yesterday.
In fact, the weather was very cool since yesterday, even up to this morning. So we thank God for His blessings.
Thank God, thank God. So going on to the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, we have insecurity. Service chiefs know what's wrong. Buhari. And still on the Vanguard front page, EFCC grants Okorocha bail. And moving on to the Tribune newspaper front page this morning, we have Obaseki to federal government. Monetary rascality must be stopped. And on the Tribune front page, we have federal government lifts ban on registration of new SIMs. We also have that President Muhammadu Buhari returns from UK trip. Moving to the Sun front page newspaper, Ohaneze wants federal government. Don't push Nigeria to break up. We also have on the Daily Sun front page, government officials behind kidnapping, autumn. And also, governors condemn attacks on security formations in Imo, Benue. And going on to Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu flags of Red Line Rail project. About the insecurity in Nigeria, service chiefs know what's wrong, Buhari. Now going on to the issue of the new Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba. President Buhari made mention of the fact that they went through the due process to appoint him. And it will be recalled that the former acting Inspector General of Police, he was on an official assignment when we got the news that Usman Baba has been appointed the new Inspector General of Police. In your own view, sir, do you think Usman Baba is actually up to the task?
You have asked me a very big question. Whether he's up to the task or not. Based on what President Buhari said on his return to Nigeria from London medical trip yesterday, we have no option than to believe what the president said. I am not in the Nigerian police force. I've never met him. I've not even heard about him, even his name, until he became the acting Inspector General of Police. And from what the president said, he said he has been in the system for a very long time and he understands the system. So we have no need to doubt his capability, even with what he did yesterday, disbanding the IGP monitoring team in Lagos and one other state because of high-handedness and some activities of the monitoring units that were unbecoming, like taking over cases arbitrarily from police stations. We know that he can do it. But what people are saying, people are not doubting his competence. What people are saying is that the service chiefs that we have in the country, they are concentrated on a particular section of the country. Some sections of the country are saying, no, we should be there, like Southeast. Southeast is raising issues that the Chief of Defense Staff, where is he from? Okay. The Chief of Army Staff, where is he from? The Chief of Naval Staff, where is he from? The Chief of Yes, that's CAS, Chief of CAF, that is the Chief of Air Staff, where is he from? And then the Inspector General of Police, where is he from? The Controller General of Customs, where is he from? Controller General of Immigration, where is he from? The head of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Where is he from? Those are the issues people are raising, that when you go to the Southeast, is it that we do not have people that are also competent to handle that position? That's what people are saying. But we are not doubting the competence of the new acting IGP, whether it can perform or not. But what should be paramount is security of lives and property. Once we can sleep with our two eyes closed, we know that our security is guaranteed. And then foreign investors, we have confidence to come and invest in this country. But in a place where you have insecurity all over, then foreign investors will be scared of putting down their money in that economy. So, way forward, I don't doubt his competence.
Okay, so talking about, you made mention of the issue of ethnicity, that these people in the top positions are like a particular set of ethnic group. They belong to a particular set of ethnic group. So it is now looking like people in the Southeast are being left behind. Don't you think this can actually cause some kind of chaos in the country? Considering the fact, because normally if you are somewhere and you feel like, oh, I'm being left out in the affairs of the country, you feel threatened, kind of, in a way. Don't you think this can actually stir up some reactions from people that might affect the growth of the country?
People are already talking. Even before the expiration of the tenure of former IGP, Mohamed Adamu, and people have been, when the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, Chief of Air Staff, and Chief of Defense Staff were appointed, there were agitations that it is the turn of Southeast to be included among the service chiefs. But the president ignored the agitation. It's at the top. What he sees, the security reports that he gets, many of us do not have access to them. So we cannot really say this is right or this is wrong. They know what they are doing, and whether they are trying to make one ethnic group to be superior than the other in the country is best known to them. But the former IGP, you said the other time that it was an assignment.
Yes.
When the announcement was made, even though the president was in London then, and the announcement was made in Nigeria, you should expect it, because substantively he has exhausted his own tenure. His tenure was only extended, and anything may happen. Recall what happens to former IGP Tafabalo. He was IGP, he was at a function. He was on the podium speaking when he received a call from high places. He picked the call, and then he could not continue with the speech. That's how he left the stage. So when you are at the top there, then the commander-in-chief can remove you at any time. So it is expected.
Okay. Going on to the next story now. Nigeria government officials involved in kidnapping. Benue State Governor Otom alleges. Talking about Governor Otom, sir, based on what he said, for me, him saying the farmers' herdsmen crisis involving killings may compromise farming and food security across the country. For me, I feel it is happening already. The food security of the country is damaged already, most especially in the southwestern part of the country. So talking about the issue of some desperate politicians having hand in the current state of the country, what's your take on that, sir?
What the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, said, I think if we can remember vividly, it's not different from what former Deputy Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Obadiah Melafia, said last year, and he was invited by DSS. He heart to cry out, save my soul message out. And this is not also different from a statement that was credited to the former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Nuhu Ribadu, on how foreign machineries were brought to Nigeria in 2014, so that the opposition party could actually defeat the ruling party, PDP then. And they had an agreement. We read it, it's all over. That they had an agreement that will help you to win the election, and after the election, you will give us also amount of money. But they said those people, the desperate politicians that brought them to the country, did not fulfill their own part of the bargain. And what happened? They started causing troubles. And when a governor said that, you should know that the governor is talking from an informed point of view. He has his security reports and he knows what he's saying. On the food security, go to the market now. Food stores are very expensive now. We know what is happening around the country. Come to the southwest. For a very long time, people have been shouting. They have been saying food insecurity is imminent because of the activities of criminal herdsmen in our midst. Our farmers could no longer go to farm. Even if you go to farm, you are not even sure whether you are going to harvest it or not. There was a time somebody approached me. Then we have land in Ijayi area of Ijayi is a suburb of Ibadan. That you don't need to go to take the cutlasses and hoes and go and weed by yourself, but just put down your money. Just go and monitor, we'll do it for you. I wanted to do it. And I asked them, if I put down my money to farm, will you guarantee me that herdsmen will not destroy the farmland? Those people said, we cannot guarantee you. So, and I withdrew. So, that is what we are saying. Even for what Autumn said, with due respect to him, it's not even different. Though similar, different topics on what Governor of Edo State, Obaseki, said some days ago, that Nigeria government actually printed 60 billion naira. And they said no. Government did not print that. But CBN governor came out yesterday and said you actually printed the money to bailout for state government, that they will have to pay it back. So indirectly, the federal government is admitting that they printed the money. And this one, issue of herdsmen, foreign machineries, if something concrete is not done immediately, then what the Johannes Indigo is saying will come to pass. Already, we have self-determination groups across the country. Yes. In Yoruba land, we have agitators for Oduduwa Republic. Several. Go to the south, they say they are not going with Biafra. They are going for Niger Delta. Then the other one, Biafra is here. Even some groups have risen up in the north, agitating for Arewa Republic. What are we now talking about? Nigeria is sinking under the present administration, and something decisive must be done. Even the new service chiefs, they have a clear task ahead of them. If this country will not break, they have to be up and doing. And all this nepotism, these people trying to put one ethnic group above the other, will not work. Marginalization will not work. It will only date the existence of this country. We have to do something about them. And what Governor Samuel Autumn said should not be taken against him. He is raising the alarm so that something should be done.
Every day we hear stories of youth going into all sorts of criminal activities. And we say these youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Do you think if these youth get to this position too, would they do things differently?
Before we even go into the issue of whether the youth will do things differently or not, I remembered vividly that right from the time Chief Olusegun Obasanjo was president of Nigeria, he introduced the policy, return to farm, and he encouraged youth actually to go into farming. And things were not as worse as we have now. And some took the policy, they went back to farm. They were actually farming and they were getting returns, profits from it. Some even went into commercial farming. It went on and on like that. And I remembered when this present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari came into power in 2015, they promised something. They said diversification of economy into agriculture so that we will not be relying on monolithic product of petroleum to sustain the economy. But what is happening now? We said it, but we don't pursue it. Then the youths that we are talking about, I will not advise any youth to go into farming now. And whether the youths, because of the dangers, and many people obtained loans to farm, and everything went down. And you know, if you obtain loan, maybe in a microfinance bank or commercial banks, whether something happened to your farm or not, you must pay their money. And if you want to insure your farm, I'm even sure that insurance company will be skeptical of allowing that policy to scale through because of the uncertainty. How old was General Yakubu Gowon when he was president, military head of state? I think it's around 27 or 30. And the people that are ruling us now, they've been in government for many years. Even President Muhammadu Buhari was military head of state from December 31, 1983 up to 1985 when IBB came to power. What are we now talking about? Since their youth days, they've been in government, and what has changed? I think the way forward is that this country must be restructured. So I think the way to go is restructuring, so that true federalism will be practiced in Nigeria. Without that, this is how we will continue. I may not say, but in 2023, if we have a president that is detribalized, that will not place one ethnic group over the other, maybe we can have some changes. Because even former military head of state, Sonny Abacha, said any act of terrorism or just insurgency that lasts more than few days, then it has the support of the government. So, and there are some things we cannot say publicly, so that the security agencies will not go after us. But you cannot rule out the fact that some people are in government. Even former President Goodluck Jonathan said, before he lost the 2015 presidential election, that Boko Haram had infiltrated his government. He said it. He knew them, but he could not say it even as the president. So what are we now talking about? So restructuring, I think, is the way to go.
About the restructuring, sir, don't you think the state government have more work to do? Because considering the way things are now, the federal government is not doing much to curb this whole issue. Don't you think our state governors need to bunch up as one to fight? Because Yoruba will say, "Ajejowokan kò gbẹ́rù dórí." So for me, I feel, don't you think our state governors need to bunch up to face the issue of all these problems in the southwestern state, or we should just leave everything to the federal government to do?
I think the governors in the southwest, even in the south and southeast, I think they've been trying their best. They came together to form Amotekun Corps, and we all knew what happened before Amotekun Corps was allowed to stay by the federal government. Yes. It was a tug of war, and the state governors, they are helpless. They refer to them as chief security officers of their respective states. But what can they do? The command of the Nigerian police force is not under them. Even the commissioner of police in that state will not obey the governor.
Yes.
But the central command in Abuja, what do you expect them to do? There was even a time, this present Minister of Labor and Productivity, Dr. Chris Ngigi, when he was Anambra State Governor, before his impeachment, they withdrew all the security men from him, conventional security men, the police, the DSS, they withdrew everything. He had to use non-state actors to protect himself. What are we now talking about? So, the state governors can only do a little. That's why we are saying we should have state police. When we have state police, they can all work together in synergy with other federal security agencies to cope insecurity in the country. That's the way to go. They cannot do much. They are chief security officers. They are just like dogs that can bark but not bite.
That's a deep one from Mr. Shea. With this, we have to wrap up the program now. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Thank you for watching us today on News Analysis on Arayan Television. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our Instagram page, Arayan Television, to check for updates on news, entertainment, and other packages that we have in store for you. I still remain Olaemi Babatu. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Have an amazing weekend.